Dan, we're speaking ahead of the Bromley game in the Premier League Cup tomorrow, but first I just wanted to look back on the weekend's game. You've been out there with the lads training this morning. What's the mood like in the camp?
Yeah, I think we've reflected upon the game. I think there are lessons that we've learned across this past month, and I'm certain that when I see the players and I see the staff that we're going to be better off the back of this. So yeah, I think we've been in reflective mood, but certainly willing to apply the learning that we've taken and going to be better moving forwards.
There are members of the squad that have faced adversity and challenges on the pitch before, like during last season. How important is their experience for the whole squad?
Yeah, experience always comes down to the lessons that you learn. So I think, last season was last season. This is a new season. It's a new group. I think we've had a challenging period, but I think the good thing with that is often it really highlights areas that we can improve, highlights areas that we need to get better. And I think when you're with the right group of people, those challenges, they spur you on, they motivate you. And I think that's certainly what this period's doing for us.
Something that is going to motivate the team tomorrow night is the opportunity to claim top spot with a win against Bromley, which is something that's definitely going to motivate them.
Yeah, I think the group's been great throughout the competition so far at just trying to be better in lots of different areas throughout. Each game we've tried to improve. I think if you think back to the first game against Bromley, that was a tougher night than the 4-1 scoreline suggested. And I think you asked me after the game, are you pleased? And I said yes, but I know this group's capable of a lot more, and I think we're going to have to be a lot better tomorrow night to gain that win.
The group itself has evolved somewhat from that first game with a number of players going out on loan. Does that give you now an opportunity to maybe look at some of the younger players in the squad and some of the under-18s?
I think that gives different opportunities to different players. I think what it does highlight is actually the value of this competition. It's provided a showcase and opportunity for players to be seen by other loan clubs. And probably more importantly, it's provided a platform for players to play in our first team. So I think we're constantly looking to create alignment between the players that play in these games with what they're then going to be asked to do in the first team. And as a byproduct of that, if they perform well, then there will be other loan clubs that are looking at them and wanting to take them on board.
A few loan players that have gone out recently, Pedro and Ed, gone to Yeovil, and having a great spell there so far. What's the process like here at the training ground for keeping tabs on them and checking in on them?
Well, I think it's just constant communication, really. The boys have been great. I think one of the bits that you really look at and feel proud about is how they actually handle themselves as people. And I think that they've handled the situation really well. It's the first time for both of them being out on sort of full-time loans. And I think, like I say, most importantly, how you conduct yourself as a person, a new environment. And then obviously you have to perform on the pitch. So we've been in constant communication, and I'm really proud to see how they're conducting themselves away from the club.
Of course, there are still opportunities for the 21s, and should you win this group, you will definitely be in the next round, which is another great opportunity to have more games for this group.
Yeah, we put this provision in place to create opportunity and development for these players, and I think we're not really concentrating on whether we win the group or not. What we're really concentrating on is performing to our highest possible level, so that we perform well, we win the game, and as a byproduct of that, like I say, we get players in and around our first team, and we get players that are constantly developing their games.
This being the final time we're probably going to speak in 2024, I just wanted a moment to reflect on your personal year. You started the year at Rotherham. You're now here. How do you look back on 2024 for yourself?
Probably reflective, as I said, about the first team off the back of this month. It's been a challenging 12 months, but I think what those challenges do is they give you an opportunity to reflect and to learn. And I don't think the separation between those people that go on and be successful is, if they have challenges, it's whether they learn from those challenges, and that's what I'm trying to do. I've really enjoyed my time being back at the club. Really enjoyed trying to put some of the learnings that I've had over the last couple of years into place to try and help the club move forwards. But yeah, I think the main thing is learn, improve, come back better, and that's really what I'm trying to do.
And that's also the message for this group going into the Bromley game.
Yeah, I think you're defined by your habits, and you try and create good habits, and the outcome will be the outcome. You know, it's important that you know where you want to get to, both individually and collectively, but there's no point in having Premier League aspirations and non-league habits. You've got to make sure those two things are aligned. So, yeah, like I say, habits on a daily basis for the group, for us individually, and then the outcome will be the outcome.